Greetings from World University and School's weekly business meeting on Monday, April 13th, 2026 at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And as we wait to see if people will join us, I'd like to share a little news from the agenda that I posted last week on Monday, April 6th, 2026, beginning Kipengera Range, Tanzania. Monday, April 6th, 2026, recording of Open World University and School, WUS Press, WUS Universities, WUS Agenda and News. Productivity gains and labor pains. What will AI do to jobs? In both blogs. The World University and School.blogspot.com blog from April 6th, Kipengera Range, Tanzania, and my blog, scott-mcleod.blogspot.com from April 6th, 2026. Just checking to see if people are seeking to join this open WUAS news and question and answer with your questions or answers. And working from the agenda from Monday, 4/6, 8 days ago. Dear World University and School community and networks, Universitians all, happy Spring Egg Day. Happy Easter. As you know, World University and School has two wings. One, the 501c3 tax-exempt World University and School wing. Its beginning website is worlduniversityandschool.org, comprised of two legal entities. 1A, the 501c3 U.S. federal legal entity, tax-exempt legal entity. 1B, the state of California tax-exempt legal entity. And 2, the other wing, the WUS Corporation wing, and its beginning website is worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html, which is a for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California, with amazing potential synergies between these two wings, since both wings are planned in 200 countries as major research universities and teaching universities with AI and ML2, and in all 7,159 living languages for speakers in these. And as WUS seeks to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet, each a Wikidata PIN number from here, you at World University, wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/you_at_world_university. And to both facilitate free universal education and potentially to end poverty worldwide with free education. 2, and by distributing Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency free money daily, which you can get with this invitation code, SGKMAC, at mindpi.com/SGKMAC, to, say, the poorest billion people on the planet. So in these regards, I just received a email this morning from the state of California that will allow me to file the state of California's tax-exempt legal entity for World University and School 2 weeks before the filing due date of April 30th, 2026. Good news. Item B. In some of these regards, I've added also a new signature, these two wing regards. I've added a new signature with the email addresses for 1, president, which I am presently, and 2, the WUAS CEO, separately regarding 2 WUAS wings, and see below. My Vivek Hutsi Singh with his Columbia University MBA and his Cornell BA, Bachelor's in Finance, and whom I know from Berkeley, consider becoming the WUS CEO, possibly when we're a little further along. And see agenda item A in the WUS Corporation wing side below. Item C, World University and School is curious how the state of California's Franchise Tax Board, FTB, is progressing with coding the tax-exempt platform for state of California tax-exempt legal entities at the sos.ca.gov web business programs biz file website, for example. While World University and School's due date to file the next Statement of Information, SI Form 199, is April 30th at bizfileonline.sos.ca.gov. We haven't been able to file this yet this year for 2025. But as I just said earlier, just this morning, I received an email from the state of California, I think, making it possible to file this. Great news. Agenda item D4 in this introductory email to university and community. In doing so, on the World University and School wing, will World University and School now be able to seek grants, both US federal and with our 501c3 grant status, and related state of California grants in new ways after April 30th, 2026, which we haven't been able to do yet either. And in some of these regards, also the candid.org website affiliated with the IRS, which I think used to be guidestar.org, affiliated with the IRS, now has a World University and School link, which I just learned about a day or two ago, that I think will make the guidestar.org World University and School link history. So this platform, candid.org, is also developing, as does seem to be the state of California's tax-exempt platform, making it possible with an email this morning to file the Statement of Information for our World University and School tax-exempt wing with the state of California. So item D1, will World University and School's candid listing affiliated with the IRS and partly for such grants become more functional now? Possibly. Agenda item E. And on the WUS Corporation for-profit wing, our second wing, will WUS be able to develop with Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency initially, or with time? As a for-profit general stock company in the state of California, and even possibly with time, list the WS Corporation on a stock exchange, such as the NASDAQ, with the state of California general stock company legal entity, or the Silicon Valley Long-Term Stock Exchange, with its focus on long-term, less volatile, less risky, possibly trade, which is based in, I think, Northern California, or even multi-list on stock exchanges in most of all 200 countries, so that the countries get the benefit of possibly the WUS Corporation as a for-profit wing, possibly developing with Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency free money daily, as possibly becoming a main worldwide single, possibly cryptocurrency. And all regarding the academic press at WUS, which is in 7,159 living languages with machine learning and human translation, and the WUS Educational Services stores in all 200 countries, which are the key beginning businesses on the WS Corporation for-profit wing. And working effectively, will this WS Corporation wing with the state of California platform for-profit general stock company legal entities work effectively with the World University and School State of California tax-exempt legal entity. So we have on our first wing a legal entity that is tax-exempt with the state of California, and our second wing, the WS Corporation, we have a legal entity with the state of California that's a for-profit general stock company. How will these two entities work together within the state of California? And how will they work also with our first wing, World University and School, being in being a nonprofit 501c3 tax-exempt legal entity at the U.S. federal level? Item F. World University and School's open WUS weekly business meeting, news and question and answer. Continue to meet on Mondays. Next today, April 13th, 2026, at 9 a.m. Mexico City time, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Mountain time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, US and Canada, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, 10:30 p.m. or 11:30 p.m. India time, 1 a.m. Tuesday the next day, Hong Kong time. But please check your time converter from any of your 24 time zones to join this open WUS weekly business meeting with Zoom URL in the WUS weekly business meeting agenda and news below and in the following WUS blog posts. So the agenda for today, April 13th, that I'm reading from for this open WUS weekly business meeting, again begins Kipengera Range, Tanzania, which I shared with you last week so as to season and to invite your thinking and feedback. Let me just check if people are seeking to join this. And here is the agenda for next week, April 20th, and beginning Kashmir, Himalaya, Monday 4/13/2026 and Monday 20/20/2026, Open World University and School WUS News and QA and WS Weekly Business Meeting Agenda and News. So it begins Kashmir, Himalaya for next week's agenda. So item I. World University and School is growing daily, and blog post by blog post too. And waiting, I think, for the California tax-exempt filing process to advance, which it may well have, and the Candid platform to develop too, which it also may well have. And waiting also for accreditation opportunities to further develop. And might we be able to even matriculate students this September 1st in World University and School seeking to deploy the full US federal toolkit. And as we potentially accredit with Middle States Commission on Higher Education with the US federal government, with Middle States Commission on Higher Education being based in the greater Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. And World University and School is growing daily and waiting also for money. How also to grow an engaged and engaging research and wiki learning community with wiki teachers and wiki learners teaching and learning. And these are subjects you create. So these subjects on this main subjects wiki page at wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/subjects with a capital S. First in English, but then in all 200 countries' main languages, and then among speakers of all 7,159 living languages in these languages. And with wiki subjects, again, that you can create about what you love, for example. And in all of this further, and both online and from Canyon, California 94516 in the San Francisco East Bay, potentially too. All the best abolitionally, a best Steam, Creative Commons licensed open courseware, wiki at World Univ and SCH. Hashtag WUAS abolition movement is growing to protect people. And see the blog posts beginning Eagle, Aquila, World University, and School in both blogs from October of 2025 regarding the abolition movement. World University and School is growing to abolish the wrongful buying and selling of people in the illegal sex, drugs, violence, car theft, military targeting, etc. industries, and their latent internationally, and their latent networks of violence. And in WUS seeking to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet to facilitate wiki free universal education and potentially to end poverty worldwide. Yogically, 8 limbs of yoga, friendly, non-theist friends, non-theist Quakers, Quaker and Unitarian Universalist Church greetings. Kind regards, Scott G.K. McLeod, president at World University and School.org, founder, president, CEO, and professor at, presiding and recording clerk, loosely in the manner of unprogrammed NTF Friends Quakers. And the recording of today's WUS news and question and answer on Monday, April 13th, 2026 will be posted to the main current YouTube channel, youtube.com/at Scott McLeod World University /videos. So today we'll focus a little bit further on our Grow with Google WUAS program and my meeting Julie Wong at Google, who's the executive engagement lead, as well as James Manyika, who's the senior vice president at Google, at a Stanford panel discussion of productivity gains and labor pains. What will AI do to jobs? On March 17th, 2026. So the first wing, World University and School, WUAS, the first of two WUAS wings. A 501c3 or similar nonprofit, which is building on CC licensed best STEM open courseware and is wiki. World University and School.org is its main website, still in a beginning form, and see both tax IDs for this tax-exempt legal entity, U.S. federal and state of California, at the bottom of this page, World University and School.org. Check out the rest of it, page 2. Agenda item 0. The recording of last week's April 6, 2026 WS News question and answer as kind of video minutes has been posted to the April 6, 2026 blog post using the agenda from the week before of March 30th, 2026, a Monday also. Agenda item 1, an aging reversal machine. This is a blog post. This is a set of Twitter posts. An aging reversal machine at Grow with Google WUAS, at World Univ and SCH, in hashtag G Street View, with hashtag G Time Slider, with hashtag Google Computer Scientists. How can I add right now data for this aging reversal machine for the years of 2007, 2012, and 2024 at the G cell view level, at the Google cell view level, and at the Google molecule view level, data sets of humans at the Harbin Book, at Harbin Book, a Twitter X feed, at the Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse, hashtag Gatehouse, which you can access through the Street Maps, the Google Maps URL in this Twitter post. And how can I add right now human data sets of Google Cell View and Google Molecule View levels for 2007, 2012, 2024 to Google Pegmans as becoming electronic health records, hashtag GPegman EHR. Would I access data sets of humans at the cell view level and the molecular view level from various universities or the US federal government for the years of 2007, 2012, and 2024 to Google Pegman electronic health records, Avatar Agent electronic health records, and start to work with this data digitally to potentially add the cells, data sets of humans, even back into physical bodies in the future, physical human bodies, maybe through the Harvard Wyss Institute eRapid anti-fouling sensor. And building on the idea of George Church's 60 Minutes video interview that's only 67 seconds long from 2019, an interview with Scott Pelley at 60 Minutes, where he suggests that gene function declines as we age, and it's adding copies of genes, of proteins, back in to mice, for example, that will potentially reverse aging, that is reversing aging, rather than editing genes. How to do this in a realistic virtual Earth, an aging reversal machine, a realistic virtual Earth for genetics, and say with Google Street View with Time Slider. And for the years in the beginning, 2007, 2012, 2024, would I be able to add cells from 2007 into my Avatar Agent electronic health record with a Google Street View with Time Slider interface into my Avatar Agent electronic health record, and then somehow upload them into my body with the Harvard Wyss Institute eRapid anti-fouling sensor, and thus adding copies of 2007 genes, of cells with genes in them, back into my body, possibly causing aging reversal. A lot of complex steps in the process of this, but this is the idea World University and School would like to develop with in developing an aging reversal machine, potentially in collaboration with Harvard Medical School, Stanford Medical School, with Kaiser Permanente, Northern California, and similar. And read more about this in the blog post beginning Contra Costa Goldfields, Lasthenia, in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from March of 2026. Agenda item 1A. Another set of Twitter X posts. An aging reversal machine, hashtag aging reversal machine on Twitter X, LinkedIn, also LinkedIn sometimes, as hashtags, is a hashtag WUAS moonshot in a hashtag realistic virtual Earth for genetics. Think Google, think hashtag G Street View with hashtag G Time Slider, with at WorldUniv and SCH, being in a hashtag Grow with Google WUAS program. Google does moonshots. They have a long experience with this. Hashtag G moonshots on hashtag Twitter X. How best to engage hashtag Google Computer Scientists, hashtag Calico Labs, a Google subsidiary, and hashtag Isomorphic Labs, which I think created AlphaFold Server 3, and which is a Google division, a Google Alphabet division, I think, or lab. And check out both the Google Street View, Google Maps, Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse in Google Street View, and click on the dates, 2007, 2012, 2024, and revisit the video interview of George Church by Scott Pelley in 60 minutes, which is only a minute long, and which happened in 2019. So how best to add these data sets of humans from 2007, 2012, with our avatar agent records with George Church for hashtag aging reversal and hashtag extreme longevity, and in a Google Street View meeting room see the video, how to view Street View in a smart meeting room in all of these regards. Agenda item 1C. So this is the video with George Church interviewed by Scott Pelley, titled "How Soon Could Humans Reverse the Aging Process with Genetic Engineering?" where George Church suggests that it's happening already in lucky mice. And read more about this further in the blog post beginning Contra Costa Goldfield's Lasthenia in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. So agenda item 1D, Happy Spring Egg Day. How many animals lay eggs in shells? Thousands of animal species lay eggs with shells, primarily birds. All approximately 10,000 bird species, or 10,000 or more bird species. I asked this of Google AI, got a great reply. And how best to develop in a hashtag RVE, Realistic Virtual Earth, a hashtag Realistic Virtual Earth for reproduction, a hashtag Realistic Virtual Earth for species. So could we model with computer simulation reproduction of all 10,000 bird species and their genetics, laying eggs, and those eggs hatching in a realistic virtual Earth for reproduction? So it would include the fertilization of the eggs process by the males, and in a realistic virtual Earth for species. A vast data project. World University and School seeks to develop this further. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Robin's Egg in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, from April of 2026. Agenda item 2. Attended recently a Stanford TV screening about the Chinese astrophysicist and academic Fang Lizhi, The Man Who Told the Truth. It's the title of the TV documentary. I attended it on Friday, April 3rd, 2026 in the Stanford Hoover Institute. And there were some great panel discussions about this film. The son of Fang Lizhi was there, and interesting to meet Dr. Changgang Xu, who is a senior fellow in the Stanford Hoover Institute, originally from China, who's a political economist, and Perry Link, who's a Harvard trained PhD scholar of China. And it would have been interesting to meet Orville Schell as well, who is also a Harvard, I think a Columbia scholar at the Asian Society in New York City, I think a former dean of the UC Berkeley Journalism School, and all China watchers too, in regards to academia. Orville Schell was involved in, I think, Fang Lizhi leaving China with the help of the US State Department in the 80s or 70s for speaking the truth. Fang Lizhi told the truth about how potentially academics and physics in China could develop further, but also about opening the Chinese academic system universities in new ways. So more about free to students, World University in School, building on MIT OpenCourseWare and traditional Chinese for free WUS degrees, bachelor, PhD, law, MD, IB, high school, or similar AAAS master's degrees online from home in China, here in a letter that I sent to all of the panelists whose email addresses I could find after this great TV screening of The Man Who Told the Truth of Fang Lizhi, Lizhi, The Man Who Told the Truth, who became an academic at the University of Arizona after he left China. So how could World University in School potentially grow China World University in School in traditional Chinese, which MIT OpenCourseWare is already in a beginning way, and potentially with Tony Tsoi, the director of this film, The Man Who Told the Truth, Fang Lizhi, The Man Who Told the Truth, and Ginger Duan, who is a Tibet scholar affiliated with UC Berkeley, and has also an assistant, Bao, who is from Mongolia, and Fang Ke, the son of Fang Lizhi, and Perry Link, and Xiao Qian, who is a UC Berkeley scholar, and Orville Schell and Changgang Xu, who is a Stanford Hoover Institute scholar. Thanks to them for their great Fang Lizhi, The Man Who Told the Truth film conversation. And how could World University in School grow truth at free hashtag China WUAS? Stay tuned. More about this in the blog post beginning Magnolia Omiensis, Fang Lizhi, Man Who Told the Truth, in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, from March of 2026. Agenda item 3, the World University in School, Tibet World University in School, and Mongolia World University in School for free online WUAS degrees from home in these countries and in their main and official languages, building on MIT OpenCourseWare translated into these languages. Here's my email, part of my email to Ginger Duan and Bao, her assistant, who is from Mongolia originally, with Ginger Duan being a Tibet scholar. Ginger Duan and Bao, how might we communicate further about developing both Tibet World University in School and Mongolia World University in School for free online WUS degrees from home in these countries and in their main and official languages, building on MIT OpenCourseWare translated into these languages? And how might even the Chinese academics, which WUAS hires in China, for example, help with this building out of Tibet World University and School and Mongolia World University and School, and such that matriculated Tibetan students at WUAS in the future could come into dialogue with matriculated Chinese students at WUAS China and matriculated Mongolian students too, which is something that Ginger Duan had expressed interest in. And it's kind of a Quaker process too, of building dialogue between nations, between students in these nations. So you'll find the beginning of Tibet World University and School here at wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/Tibet, planned in the Tibetan languages. And the beginning Tibetan language wiki subject is wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/Tibetan_language. And accessible with time in Tibetan from languages, a main wiki subject at World University and School, wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/languages with a capital L. But Bao, Mongolia World University and School isn't yet started from the main nation states wiki subject page, planned in Mongolian, from which World University and School in the nation states wiki subject page, major research and teaching library universities will emerge in Tibet, for Tibet and for Mongolia and for China, and all the 5 countries with China as an official languages, and potentially in all of their languages, all those countries' languages, with over 300 languages and dialects spoken in China. And see more about this in the blog post beginning Magnolia Omiensis, Fang Li Man Who, in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from April of 2026. Agenda item 4. I received a interest in applying to World University and School from someone in South Africa who was very interested in applying for a theater major, but we're not accredited yet. And I emailed him, Romano, I think is his name, in a blog post on Wednesday, April 1st, 2026, beginning Kitulo National Park, Tanzania. Thanks for your email and interest in applying for a Free to Students World University and School degree and studying toward applying to Free to Students World University and School and studying toward a degree in theater arts from your home in South Africa, where WUAS is not yet accredited. Are you interested in applying for a 2-year Associate of Arts degree program or a 4-year bachelor degree, or not accredited yet? This World University and School accreditation process may take some time, years further even. And with WUAS building on CC4 licensed MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages, you might also be possibly studying from these courses at MIT OpenCourseWare. And I searched on the Shakespeare scholar at MIT, Diana Henderson, with Diana Henderson Shakespeare MIT OpenCourseWare, and found 4 courses of hers in MIT OpenCourseWare, as well as the Music and Theater Arts department at MIT at opencw.aprende.org/courses/music and theater arts. So see these courses too. More about this as we seek to make these free degrees available to South Africans interested in studying theater and music as well from home in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, from April of 2026, beginning Kitulo National Park, Tanzania. Agenda item 5. This is an email to the Contra Costa clerk recorder and lawyer Kristen Connolly, as well as her assistant, Melissa Hickok, and U.S. Senator and former Harvard Law professor Elizabeth Warren, regarding potentially moving into a newly safe, vacant with property deed 670 Ridgecrest Road, Canyon, California, 94516. And them sending me the newsletter, 19th edition, for Contra Costa County, and my including them, Kristen Connolly and Melissa Hickok, in these WUS news and question and answer emailings. And with me being also the clerk at World University and School and the presiding clerk and the recording clerk, parallel functions to the leader at Contra Costa County as clerk, recorder, and lawyer, Kristen Connolly. Thank you for the Contra Costa County Clerk Recorder Elections Department newsletter, 19th edition, email this morning. And in the PS, how best to move further forward into a newly safe, vacant with property deed for 670 Ridgecrest Road, Canyon, 94516. And see the PS, postscript. How best to move further. They had also sent me an email with a Contra Costa County response number, titled Property Deed for 670 Ridgecrest Road, Canyon, California, 94516 in Contra Costa County. Questions, receipt, notification, and response 2026-014. And I had gone over to the Contra Costa County municipal offices about 2 or 3 weeks ago and inquired about this property too further. Read more about this in the blog post titled Contra Costa Goldfields, Lasthenia, in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, from March of 2026. Agenda item 6. From Thursday, April 2nd, 2026, beginning in a blog post, with a blog post beginning Bird of Paradise Flower, restorative yoga class on Saturdays, and as we may live to 150 and well beyond, and a youth vaccine. Dear Dick Robb, MD, possibly posthumously, also a professor in Harvard Medical School, Unitarians Chris Michaels and Ma Janey, Quakertarian and veterinarian, Ann Brown, my cousin, Alden Briscoe, who went to Quaker George School in Philadelphia before Harvard College, my cousin once removed, my mother's generation, Sandy McLeod, my brother, Donna Leet, MD, George and Maitreyi, both professors in Harvard Medical School too, Peter, George Church and Maitreyi Mazumdar, Peter Norvig at Stanford AI, Marlene Way, MD, JD, author of the Harvard Medical School Guide to Yoga, 8 Weeks to Strength, Awareness, and Flexibility, Dorcha Van Kooten, the daughter of Victor Van Kooten, who's a yogi based in Greece, Vivek Hutising, meditation and yoga, your father said, from India to the world is its greatest, as its greatest exports. Great. In this video, of a great video with question and answer of your father from 2017, I think. Yoga greetings, and as we may live to 150 well beyond. Could you, Donna Leet, with you, George Church, make a youth vaccine And by building on this antigen cancer vaccine, and regarding the research you did, Donna, while a student at Harvard Medical School, the title of the Harvard Crimson article about this is "The Journey to Develop Personalized Cancer Vaccines." A team of researchers developed personalized neoantigen vaccines for cancer patients. This January, they revealed astounding new results that may have far-reaching implications for the future of quick-acting and long-lasting cancer treatment by Akila V. Muthukumar from April 15th of 2021, 5 years ago. And a sentence from this paper: Donna E. Leet, a first-year resident in internal medicine at the University of California, San Francisco, and a 2020 MD graduate on the health sciences and technology track at HMS, was one of the first authors of this paper. And read this article in the Crimson from that time. Agenda item D1. What are vaccines made up of? And how could at World Univ and SCH make an hashtag aging reversal vaccine in a hashtag realistic virtual earth for aging reversal? And think hashtag G Street View with hashtag G Time Slider at the hashtag G Cell and hashtag G Molecule view levels with isomorphic labs, hashtag Alpha Fold Server 3, and at Calico Labs, and the Gemini AI response, a very helpful response. In the blog post beginning Bird of Paradise Flower Restorative Yoga, in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from April of 2026. Agenda item 7, from Friday, April 3rd, 2026, in a blog post beginning Trifolium Govanianum. We still don't understand consciousness from a Western philosophy perspective. Yes, I added this to a Google search and to Gemini AI. And AI overview for Google search explained why. And so did Gemini AI. And what is yoga consciousness? I asked it as well, Gemini AI, and added these responses to the consciousness wiki subject school at World University and School, wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/consciousness. So read more about this in the blog post beginning Trilobium Govanianum. Agenda item 8. What is yoga consciousness? I asked Google AI about this, and it said yoga consciousness is the state of pure, undivided awareness, or witness consciousness, achieved by calming the mind's constant fluctuations, chitta vritti. It is the ultimate goal of all yoga practices, transitioning from awareness of the external world to an internal experience of one's true unchanging nature as pure consciousness. Key aspects of yoga consciousness include beyond normal mind. It transcends the ordinary waking, dreaming, and deep sleep states, Jagrat, Swapna, and Sushupti are the Sanskrit words, into a transcendental, blissful, and unified state known as Turiya. It also includes the seer's perspective, S-E-E-R''S. It involves shifting awareness from the identified, quote unquote, ego self, illness, ahankara, to the observer, seer of thoughts, emotions, and sensations. The 4 layers, another part of this. Yogic tradition divides consciousness into the mind, manas, ego, ahankara, intellect, buddhi, and subconscious intelligence, chitta. Yoga works to unify these layers. Methods to access. Practices such as hatha yoga, postures, pranayama, breath control, and meditation allow the practitioner to move through layers of consciousness, starting from mental engagement and moving toward the stillness of samadhi. Ultimate reality as another aspect of this. Within yoga philosophy, this consciousness is not just personal awareness, but is also considered the supreme consciousness or divine intelligence, sometimes viewed as God or the universal soul. The goal, samadhi. Yoga aims for a state where consciousness is, quote, free from any object, end quote. A silent awareness of existence itself, often referred to as samadhi. This state is often characterized as a deep, witness-like state of being, often experienced in yoga nidra, where the practitioner retains awareness while the physical body is profoundly relaxed and resting. And read further in this Google AI mode URL, and in this blog post beginning also Trilodyum Govanianum in my blog, scott-mccloud.com from 2026, month of April. So in the remaining 5 minutes or so, I'm going to switch to the other wing, the WUAS Corporation wing, the second of 2 WUAS wings, the for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California wing, the WS Corporation, WS Press. The academic press at WS is planned in 7,159 living languages with machine and human translation. And regarding the WUAS educational services stores, and at the current beginning webpage for this, worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html, and see the tax ID for the state of California for-profit general stock company legal entity at the bottom of this page. Agenda item A. Might Vivek Huti Singh, with his Columbia University MBA and his Cornell BA in finance, and whom I know from Berkeley, consider becoming the WUAS CEO and see his LinkedIn profile. And as an active and local WUAS CEO in the San Francisco Bay Area. Hi, Vivek all. This is an email to Vivek and a number of other people. Thanks very much for your emails in this restorative yoga thread. Exploration in class I'm teaching on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Pacific time or your time, which is open, and also regarding possibly living to 150 years old and well beyond. I enjoyed your father's Ajit's talk, Ajit Huti Singh, on India, past, present, and future. Ajit, as Vivek wrote, was also an amazing business mentor to me and to so many who, both inside and outside corporate boardrooms, learned from him and grew to love him. Ajit came from a family that fell under the spell of Gandhiji, Gandhi in India, only to find itself at the center of a movement that quickly transcended all else, India's independence movement. Vivek wrote to me in regards to further connecting and to people in this yoga class as well. When I think of free to students, World University and School, building on MIT OCW in 7 languages, and the WUS Corporation growing in all 200 countries, and us potentially living to 150 years old and well beyond, I wonder how best for WUAS to even develop with kinds of yoga and Hindu and Friends Quaker approaches, and with Western academic business analytical thinking, and how information technologies. And in WUAS also seeking to code for speakers of all 7,159 living languages for open wiki schools and for all 7.9 billion people on the planet, and to facilitate free universal education, and possibly to end poverty too, by distributing Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency, free money daily, which you can get with this URL on your smartphone, mindpi.com/SGKMAC, by distributing to end poverty to most of the people on the planet, to become a main worldwide cryptocurrency. How best can WUS hire and employ 2.5 million people, the majority working around 10 hours a week over the next 50 to 100 years, to do this on both wings as World University and School seeks to grow possibly in a store within a store model with Walmart in its 19 out of 200 countries, with World University and School seeking to grow in all 200 countries, where Walmart hires something like 2.3 or 2.1 million people. And regarding also seeing if Vivek might be interested in the email address for WUS CEO, which I've added to a new signature with the email addresses for one, the president of World University and School, and two, the WSCP CEO, with our two wings separately regarding the two WS wings below. And see more about this in the blog post beginning Trilodium Galvanianum in my blog from April of 2026. Agenda item B. What companies have started with a store within a store, SWAS, in some of Walmart's 19 out of 200 countries, but then have developed their own store and brand in their own stores, such as World University and School is seeking to do, the WS Corporation is seeking to do, beginning with a store within a store model in Walmart officially, but then developing in the other 181 countries independently, and potentially with our own name, the World University and School Stores name. And I asked this of Gemini AI, and it gave a great reply. Transitioning from a store within a store, SWUAS in Walmart, to a standalone global presence is a proven strategy for brands looking to leverage Walmart's massive foot traffic as a launch pad. While many brands remain exclusive to Walmart, like Great Value or Equate, several companies have successfully used the SWAS or Walmart First retail model to build the capital and brand recognition necessary to expand independently into other countries. Claire's, the global expansion leader. Claire's is perhaps the most prominent example of the SWAS model evolving into a massive standalone global footprint. The Walmart start. Claire's operates thousands of in-store locations within Walmarts globally. The transition. They use the high volume, low overhead nature of the Walmart partnership to fund massive expansion into standalone mall-based stores and flagship locations. Global reach. Today, Claire's operates in over 40 countries, far exceeding Walmart's 19-country reach, with over 2,500 standalone stores, in addition to their 8,000 concession points. 2, Subway, the restaurant, sandwich store. The service, SWAS success. Subway has followed a trajectory very similar to what a World University and School store might envision, starting as a service provider within the store and scaling to a global independent leader. The Walmart start. In 2004, Subway began aggressively opening inside Walmart supercenters, eventually surpassing McDonald's as the primary food partner. The transition, the Walmart model, allowed Subway to test small footprint operations and high-speed service. Global reach. Subway has now approximately 37,000 locations in over 100 countries. While many remain in Walmarts, the vast majority are independent franchises that operate in countries where Walmart has no presence at all. Third example, digital first brands, the new wave. In recent years, Walmart has acted as an incubator for brands that start as a physical presence in Walmart, but then graduate to their own independent retail stores or broad distribution. I think Lenskart and O Positive are brands in this digital first brands, the new wave. And a comparison table, SWAS, store within a store, to independent global brand. Interesting to see Claire's compared with Subway, compared with the UPS store, compared with Minute Clinic. Strategic takeaway for World University and School. To follow this path, the World University and School store could use Walmart's 19 countries as a global testing ground. Phase 1, validation. Establish the university store in Walmart, Mexico, or Canada to refine the education as a service retail model. Phase 2, capitalization. Use the revenue and data from these 19 countries to secure international licensing. Phase 3, independence. Launch standalone WUAS learning centers in the 181 countries where Walmart does not operate, using the Walmart approved brand status as a mark of institutional credibility. Gemini AI asks further, would you like to look into which of the 19 Walmart countries currently have the highest density of these store within a store partners to see where the competition for floor space might be lowest? And read further in this Gemini .google.com link. Great response from Gemini AI. Could Vivek Utsi Singh help develop this possibly? Agenda item C. Walmarts are in 19 out of 200, about 200 countries. Do they do home deliveries in any of these countries? And regarding a World University and School store within a store model, for example, I understand Walmarts are in 19 out of about 200 countries. I asked Gemini AI, do they do home deliveries in any of these countries? And potentially to reach out to students, to get them Lego robotics kits, for example, or books, as they matriculate into World University and School from their homes for free online degrees in their countries and in their languages. Gemini AI says, Walmart offers home delivery in several of its international markets, including Canada, Mexico, Chile, and China, often through partnerships like JDAO-JIA. While they frequently use the store within a store SWAS model for businesses like banks, hair salons, and restaurants, e.g. McDonald's, there's no currently active or official World University and School store model. However, Walmart has experimented with virtual dorm shops and immersive back-to-school platforms to target students online. Read further about this in the Gemini AI response with its URL. Agenda item D, WS Press poetry book questions to Pegasus Bookstore in Berkeley. Might you carry the book To the Dance or the Pools virtually, how different it is to stoke at Harbin Hot Springs than to realize it in virtual reality. So I got the address of the person who I should talk to, the email address, named Tim at Shattuck Avenue, Shattuck at PegasusBookstore.com, about possibly their carrying World University, the WS Corporation, WS Press books, and was inquiring about my last book of poetry, To the Dance of the Pools, virtually, how different it is to soak at Harbin Hot Springs than to realize it in virtual reality, and emailed him. And then went in and met with him. In my email, I said, "Greetings, and I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing to inquire if Pegasus Books on Shattuck in Berkeley might carry my To the Dancer of Pools or the Pools virtually, how different it is to soak at Harbin Hot Springs than to realize it in virtual reality." 2019 poetry book. Thanks so much to the nice woman at the counter who gave me your email a few weeks ago and said you were the person who considered getting books for the store on Shattuck at PegasusBookstore.com. I just came in again today, Sunday, April 5th, 2026, and spoke with the same nice woman asking about the 1958 book, The Guide by R.K. Narayan, as one of 10 great Indian novels inspired by yoga, possibly comic, along the lines of Hullabaloo in the Guava Orchard, which I enjoyed, and Per Gemini, and read the Gemini response. But have also since found this book online, The Guide, in two places, Internet Archive Plus. I had mentioned to her, the woman in Pegasus Bookstore on Shattuck in Berkeley, my writing 5 books that are Harbin Hot Springs inspired. One sociocultural ethnographic book. It's in the UC Berkeley Anthropology Libraries collection and also in the San Francisco Public Library main branch on the top floor in the special collection. And the other 4 poetry books, and that they are all published in a new press, the Academic and Poetry Press at World University and School, planned in all 7,159 living languages with machine and human translation, and with free to students, World University and School degrees. Still a startup, World University and School still a startup, building on MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages, which seeks to offer free online WS degrees, bachelor, PhD, law, MD, IB high school or similar, AAAS, and master's degrees from home in each of all 200 countries and in their main languages. And as we proceed with accreditation further, and I inquired whether Pegasus Books might even consider carrying my To the Dance or the Pools virtually, 2019 poetry book. I also mentioned how a book group's organizer based in Lisbon, Portugal, and I had been corresponding about their creating a book feature, spotlight, event summary of my To the Dance or the Pools virtually book. You'll find the correspondence in the blog post beginning Red Dahlia, To the Dance or the Pools virtually in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from March of 2026. And the beginnings of the presentation or event summary video, To the Dance or the Pools. But I decided on behalf of the Poetry Press not to go through with this featuring of my book. Greetings to the nice woman at the Pegasus on Shattuck Avenue, Berkeley bookstore counter. I'm writing now my upcoming Society, Information Technology, and the Global University book. Does Pegasus Books on Shattuck in Berkeley have a focus on local authors and about local places like Harbin Hot Springs, Heart Consciousness Church in Lake County, about 2 hours northeast of Berkeley, too? As you may read, I'm seeking to create a hashtag realistic virtual, hashtag hot springs, and think Google Street View with Time Slider, Google Maps, Gemini AI, and TensorFlow AI, and for even soaking from home in our bathtubs, e.g. in an onsen, Japanese word for hot springs, with this great, relatively new YouTube video information technology, which is tiltable. Check out this YouTube onsen perspective video ending in with the YouTube URL ending in DUI. And regarding hashtags on Twitter X and sometimes on LinkedIn. In my second Harbin Hot Springs ethnographic book project, my 7th upcoming book, and for online ethnographic STEM and brain, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and brain research at a realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs, and social science research. And even for publishing this 7th book, my second Harbin Hot Springs ethnographic book project from Google Street View with TimeSlider, text in the sidebar, to paper and new digital hardware formats like a hashtag WUAS multimedia room, and even to study bliss in a virtual Harbin and see Peter Norvig's incredible hashtag Tulify AI WUAS article mentioning studying bliss in a virtual Harbin, which URL begins tulify.ai/AI-news/revolutionizing education with machine learning and AI 2574306, and potentially to invent the book anew. Have you, Tim, or other Pegasus Books folks ever visited Harbin Hot Springs? Thanks, best regards, kindly, with the URL for this book and this conversation with the book group organizer from Lisbon, Portugal, to the Dance of the Pools virtually. In the blog post beginning, Red Dahlia to dance or pools virtually. And a Twitter, X, and LinkedIn set of posts in these regards. To the dance or the pools virtually, how different it is to soak at Harbin Hot Springs, hashtag Harbin Hot Springs, than to realize it in virtual reality. Poetry book at WUS Press with correspondence in the Red Dahlia blog post, and the presentation video beginnings, and the academic press beginning webpage, worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html. And retweeting a Twitter X post at Harbin Book regarding or with the first lines of hashtag Naked Harbin Ethnography, my first book and first Harbin ethnographic book. After you check in at the gate at Harbin Hot Springs, a hashtag Harbin resident who has worked there for years often says hashtag go play. You can see this further in my Naked Harbin Ethnography book page, actual virtual Harbin book.html, scottmcleod.com. How to explore this, go play, and a realistic virtual Harbin, and for EthnoWiki Virtual World Graphy, hashtag EthnoWiki Virtual World Graphy, which is a new theory and new method, science and social science theory and method I'm developing. Ethnography is the interpretive practice of peoples. Wiki means fast in Hawaiian. Think Wikipedia and editing, curating Wikipedia pages fast, or think the WS Wiki and teaching at our WS Wiki, and virtual world, which refers to, for example, Google Street View with TimeSlider, or Second Life, the 3D group buildable virtual world, a little cartoonesque, but to which we could all build, create our avatars, create islands, create buildings, and similar, create objects. So by EthnoWiki Virtual World Graphy, I have in mind building out a realistic virtual Harbin in Google Street View with TimeSlider in a virtual world, and developing and generating ethnographic interpretations and wiki-wise fast, where we can all wiki add to it, a realistic virtual Harbin. So that's the news and question and answer. More about this last agenda item D on the WS Press side in the blog post beginning Robin's Egg. in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from April 2026. So that's the news and question and answer for Monday, April 13th, 2026, beginning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Just checking email too, see if anyone might have emailed in the middle who might be interested in joining this WS News and question and answer. I got some Stanford University emails, but no one seeking to join this WS News and question and answer. I'll post the recording of today's April 13th, 2026 WS Weekly Business Meeting, WS News and question and answer as kind of video minutes to the two main blogs for World University and School, worlduniversityandschool.blogspot.com and scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, Global University blog label. In today's blog posts, which are Kashmir Himalaya, begin with the Kashmir Himalaya words, mountains. I'll also post this to the two main Twitter, X, and LinkedIn profiles for World University and School, which are at Twitter X, twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH, and twitter.com/WUAS Press, and to the related LinkedIn profiles. And of course, after uploading it to the main YouTube channel for World University and School presently, youtube.com/Scott McCloud World University. So until next week, April 20th, 2026, looking forward to coming into further conversation with you in a variety of ways over the course of the week, just as I received both a new candid.org URL for World University and School as a nonprofit U.S. federal 501c3, with candid.org being affiliated with the IRS. And just as I received also an email regarding filing the SI 199 Statement of Information 199 or similar for the state of California for the World University and School tax exempt entity with the Franchise Tax Board in the state of California. It's part of this conversation. Looking forward to communicating further with you over the course of the week. See you next week. If you have questions or thoughts you want to share, please let me know at president@World University and School. And until next time, thank you. worlduniversityandschool.org is the main current website for World University. Come in communication in particular on Twitter X. Until next time, bye for now.